What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed, the series where I cover all of the lines of sight, wall runs, as well as any other secret spots that I find on every map in Black Ops 3. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the last of the Awakening DLC maps, and that is Rise. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so Rise doesn't have a ton of spots, but some of the spots that I did find are actually quite good. Let's start off towards where the C flag is in Domination. And if you're just coming towards the C flag area, you're coming from this side of the map, and you want to come around this corner and see if anybody is waiting kind of over here for you. Instead of walking around the corner with no cover, all you have to do is hop up on top of this right here, and there you go. You can have a nice peek over towards where the C flag is before moving on. You can also kind of edge your way over here. This isn't as practical, but if you get right on the edge of this, you can actually shoot through this glass right here if someone happens to be right over there. Now, it's not really likely somebody's just going to be standing right here. Usually this is just an area they pass through. So like I said, not the most practical thing, but I wanted to point out that it is there. Next up, right by the C flag, just wanted to point out you can wall run all the way around this silo thing, or I don't think it's a silo, whatever it is, this big cylinder here. You can wall run on that. You can also wall run on the outside of these ones, but you can't wall run on the inside here. I don't know why they did that, but either way, you can only wall run on the outside parts of these. Now, getting over towards the middle of the map where the B flag is, I just wanted to point out this thing right here. A lot of times you get behind here, you have cover, and then you have enemies that are either there, or maybe if they're coming from that direction, they'll be behind that piece of cover there. And it's really hard to challenge them because you don't really have any cover by peeking out of the sides like this. So a great way to challenge them is to jump up, but not all the way. You don't want to be right on top like this. You just want to be down on this little ledge here and crouch. That gives you an excellent line of sight to challenge those people that are there, challenge people in the window, and you can kind of challenge people that are trying to head glitch over top of this. It also works going this way pretty well if you want to get a nice line of sight on people over there while having great cover. This works very, very good for that. Next up, I have like a little jump spot that's great for flanking. A lot of times, you guys know this is a power position on this map. There's almost always somebody either sitting here or trying to get to this position. And it is great because it does lock down a lot of this middle map and you can challenge people across the way. So there's almost always going to be somebody there. If you decide to flank all the way around on the water side of the map, also I want to point out you can do this, which some people didn't notice. It took me a couple games to notice that part. But if you're coming all the way around on this flank here and you think somebody might be there or you know somebody's there because they're showing up on the radar, if you just come up to this area here, you can really easily just jump shot them. So you just come up right here, jump, and you should be able to spray through and get the kill, or if you have a sniper rifle, you have to try to avoid that rebar, but either way, you might be able to pick off that kill on the guy that's standing back there, and he'll have no clue what just hit him. Now, over on this side of the map where the water is, there's really not too much to point out that isn't already pretty obvious. Like, yeah, you can go underwater here, you can come all the way underneath here. I just wanted to point out this is one of the best areas for getting the Dark Ops challenge, Dr. Lung, which is the one where you have to kill your enemy while both you and your enemy are close to drowning. It's great if you just like sit and wait for them and let them swim by, and then you can wait and wait and wait until you're sure they've been underwater for a long enough time, and then you can just pop them in the back, and it's an easy way to complete that challenge. Probably the best place in Black Ops 3 to complete the Dark Ops challenge called Dr. Lung. Also, I guess there is one other thing I wanted to point out over here, and that's just this wall run right here. You can actually wall run just kind of back and forth here and wait for enemies to come down below you. This can be pretty effective, but I don't know really how often I'm going to use it in game. But every now and then, it would be kind of a cool little technique. Somebody will come running through here, and they'll have no idea that you're up above them, and then you just shoot them in the back. Now, getting over by the A flag, if you have enemies that are coming from the water side of the map, and they're coming through here, this is exactly where they expect it to be, right here like this. Little alternative is to just jump up on this blue barrel here, and then stand up, and you have a little bit better cover, a little bit more of a height advantage, and you're in a less expected spot. Now for the A flag and Domination, I just want to point out that you can capture the A flag from on top of this truck here, like right on top of the truck, which allows you to still challenge people that are coming around this corner here, because otherwise you kind of have to be down out in the open like this, right where they expect you to be. You are really exposed on the truck like this, but they don't usually expect it if they know that you're the one capping the A flag. They'll just come sprinting around that corner, thinking that nobody that's on the A flag will actually have a line of sight on them. Next thing I wanted to point out, it's a bit of like a camper spot, but if you're playing like Uplink or Capture the Flag and you really just want to defend your base from people that are coming through that doorway there, this can be a spot that you can use. You just jump up here and crouch. They don't usually look this far back for you, so it can be a pretty effective way to take them out. Just keep in mind, like I said, it's kind of a camper spot, but also be aware of people that are trying to camp up here. This next spot is something that I use when I'm rushing over towards where the A flag is over here, and I'm expecting enemies to be over here or spawning over here. Instead of just coming up to this piece of cover and then having to strafe out in the open to see if anybody's over in this area and really check that out, just hop on top of these pails right here. And there you go. You have great cover. You can look over. You can see this entire area right here. And you have excellent cover the whole time. Now, right from that same area, if you have enemies that are coming around the corners over here and they're really pushing your spawns, maybe they're trying to spawn trap you from that area and you spawn somewhere back here, a nice way to challenge them is to simply jump up on top of this. And there you go. You have excellent cover against them. They don't have any cover at all over there. They're just kind of standing out in the open. And you'll win this gunfight pretty much every single time. Now, one thing I wanted to point out over here is something that's pretty obvious, but it's just something that I found in games. A lot of the times when you're using wall runs, it's very difficult to stay on target because you're like bouncing all over and you hit little bumps and stuff on the wall and your aim just goes all over the place. I noticed with this wall run here, it's very, very smooth if you're like losing the C flag, for instance. I use this all the time to challenge people on the C flag because it's nice and smooth on this wall run. You can see this entire time I can keep my aim nice and steady as I'm wall running there, and they usually don't expect you to be up there. And I've actually gotten quite a few kills while doing that on this wall run, and I just wanted to point out how smooth it actually is. Next up, I just wanted to point out a nice little line of sight onto the people that stand on the catwalk there, which is pretty common. A lot of people like to camp up there with a sniper rifle or something. But if you jump up on top of these pails, and you make sure you're on this side of the wall, you don't want to jump up over here or else you can't actually stand up. You want to be all the way over on this side so that you can actually stand up all the way. When you stand up, there's the catwalk right there. Excellent line of sight on them. Crouch, you have perfect cover. Stand up, you can pick them off very, very easily, and they don't expect this. So that's going to wrap it up for the map Rise. Let me know in the comment section below which one of the Awakening DLC maps is your favorite. I'm really interested to see like what the general consensus is on that so far. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.